Sea-Link terminal at Port Jarvis. It's 10 to 6 in the morning. On Kangaroo Island. It's approaching 7 o'clock in the morning.
We had booked to travel to Kangaroo Island by ferry on the Sunday night, but fierce storms had forced the cancellation of the ferry. We were rebooked for 7 a.m. the next day, but managed to get onto the earlier 6 o'clock ferry, which gave us an extra hour to play with on the island. Originally destined to come back on the Wednesday, our accommodation adjustment allowed us to come back on Thursday, which in effect gave us an extra day to tour the island.
Ashore, it's 12 minutes past 7, and as fast as it unloads, there it is, loading more to go back to the mainland yet again. It'll be interesting to see what sort of day we have. Look at that dark cloud coming across from that side.
Penshaw is a township on the north-east coast of the Dudley Peninsula on Kangaroo Island, and is the island's main ferry port with regular services from Cape Jarvis. Penshaw features a maritime and folk museum and evening tours to a colony of little penguin, the only species of penguin to breed in Australian waters. South Australia's first desalination plant was established at Penshaw in the 1990s to supplement the town's limited dam water supply.
This is the Lashmar Conservation Park, and down in amongst the trees, a couple of crosses, one for Jane Lashmar, 1847 to 1866, and the other for Thomas Clark. This is the Chapman River, and in here apparently you can catch bream. Herd of kangaroos, or whatever, they're hungry and they're feeding.
Kingscote is situated on the shores of Nepean Bay with panoramic views of a boat-studded harbour. It is the island's capital and is a bright, bustling town of about 1,800 people. It is the centre of trade and commerce with banks, extensive shopping and services including cafes and hotels. It is also home to a colony of the smallest penguins in the world, the little penguin.
Uniting Church, originally a Methodist church, built in 1907. This is Brownlow. This is a suburb of Kingscote. Store here. A lot of the stores and things tend to close down over the winter period, which is not very good if you're over here at winter time, obviously. About all of the land on the island is farmland. Farmland, vineyards, beehives, that sort of thing. This is all part of the Estrees Bay. This particular area here is camping. Camping fees apply. And they even show you where you can camp. The tent can go on that spot just there. And there's another allocated area just here. You certainly can't get much closer to the beach.
Seal Bay is a 45-minute drive from Kingscote. You can wander along the 800-metre boardwalk, which meanders through the limestone cliffs and dunes to viewing platforms where you can observe the sea lions surfing the waves or sunning themselves on the beach while you enjoy the stunning coastal scenery. Beach access to the sea lion colony is by guided tour only, but sea lions can also be seen from the self-guided boardwalk. Nearby is Bales Bay picnic area where picnic shelters, gas barbecues and toilets are provided. Kiawarra Cottage is a historical cottage built in 1873, which used to function as Kangaroo Island's first post office and features a history display. It is also the reception area for Seal Bay Cottages and Cafe, which is situated on 35 acres of land in a tranquil rural setting nestled among native gum trees and a winter lagoon. Water birds, wildflowers and native animals are on your doorstep, depending on the season.
I guess this acts also as a local pub. Stand area all set up, ready to go. And then out here, the dining room. Very nice. This is Ellen Bay down near Vion Cove. In the far distance, there's the rock. It is the end of Seal Bay. This is all part of Viron Bay. All of these places you can rent. And Viron Bay is serviced on the main road by its own store and bottle shop.
Pandana was established after the Second World War to support the soldier settlement scheme on Kangaroo Island. Returned soldiers and their families began to arrive in the area in 1948, occupying huts brought from a former internment camp, and began to move onto their farms in 1951. A total of 174 families came to live in the area, almost doubling Kangaroo Island's population by 1954.
There's obviously been a fire through here and the devastation is rather amazing. But there are this water pond here. Now that's a plover. There's supposedly only 200 of those left on the island. We've seen quite a few. And there's even a curious magpie. This is the Harvey's Return Cemetery. It's the resting place of up to 16 persons who lived at the Cape Border Lighthouse complex. And the first one was buried here in 1858. It was 1935 and the freighter Portland Maru went down just off this area. This is Scott's Cove out at Port Border.
Cape Border is a headland with a lighthouse on the west coast of Kangaroo Island and is situated 70 kilometres west from the town of Kingscote. Cape Border Light Station was built in 1858 and is the third oldest remaining and only square stone lighthouse in South Australia. The lighthouse was built to guide ships travelling along the Roaring Forties trade route heading into Investigator Strait towards Port Adelaide. The light station was automated in 1989 and is still fully operational.
This is the Cape Border coastline. And the lighthouse is what's protecting it. Chase National Park. This is at the western end of the island. There ahead of us, down the road, there's a range of hills across the front. I wonder whether we'll actually get into them or not. Another one of those plovers. And this Snake Lagoon. It's usually dry, but apparently kangaroos and the like do come here to feed. We're in the hill area of the Flinders Chase National Park. There's a black boy with a difference, or whatever you're supposed to call them these days in this politically correct world.
West Bay typifies the beauty of Flinders Chase, and a succession of maritime tragedies underline its remoteness. It's an isolated and stunning bay, but in 1905 it was the final resting place for an unknown sailor. Following the disappearance of the Loch Vanaka, wreckage was found at sea, but it wasn't for another 2 months that the body of a youth was found at West Bay and was buried here in the sandhills. The site was marked by a wooden cross made from the wreckage. Today the rolling surf gives just a hint of how treacherous the coast can be. Between 1877 and 1905, 4 ships were wrecked on the west coast.
This is Weir's Cove. It's the ruins of the storeroom. Let's go and have a look at it.
Supplies for the nearby Cape Ducudec lighthouse, which was built in 1909, were brought in through Weir's Cove. The supplies had to be hauled up the cliff from the jetty below through this man-made cutting in the sheer cliff face. There was no other way to get supplies to the lighthouse, as it was isolated, and supplies arrived only once every 3 months. Once at the top of the cliff, the supplies were stored in the storeroom. The front room was segregated into 3 separate compartments, one for each of the 3 families manning the lighthouse. It took until 1940 for a road to be built to the lighthouse to allow supplies to arrive by land. Admiral's Arch was sculpted by weathering and erosion from the sea over thousands of years. This colony of New Zealand fur seals on the rock platforms around Admiral's Arch can be seen from the viewing platforms and boardwalk. These dark brown seals feed at sea but return to land to rest and breed. Breeding occurs in summer when males establish territorial areas encompassing a number of females. Fur seal pups can often be seen playing near the rock pools beneath the arch.
It's 9 o'clock Thursday morning. We're heading down towards Penashore to get back on the boat. At 10:30 we go back to the mainland.
Kangaroo Island is 150 kilometres long and between 57 and 90 kilometres wide. The storm at the beginning of our trip inadvertently and thankfully extended our stay by 1 day. By going in the morning rather than the night before, our accommodation package allowed us 3 full days to explore the island. And it wasn't enough. To do it properly, I would estimate that a week is the absolute minimum you should consider staying over. We were there in the winter time and much of the island had shut down, but we had the place pretty much to ourselves.